welcome back to the online family program coming to you from the Sunshine Coast Health Center. My name is Sarah, and this is part 4 of a 4-part series about worrying. So many of you know that you probably spend a fair bit of time worrying about your loved one, both in their addiction and in their recovery. And so we've been talking about how worrying can become a hobby. It can also act as a distraction for you in your own life, and some ways that we make sense of worrying that may or may not be so helpful. And today I want to talk about moving beyond worrying. And an alternative to worrying is optimism. So you'll notice that if you look at your life and kind of reflect back on difficult times, really it's those times that we learn the best lessons in our life, right? Those are the ones, we say build character or really make us who we are. So, if you start to recognize that, maybe you won't worry so much about difficulty coming up, because you'll know that if you think optimistically, that you'll be able to handle it. Spending a lot of time worrying or feeling guilty is taking away from being in the present moment, in the here and now. And really that's the only place that we have any control over ourselves at all, right? Is in the here and now. And so if you're always spending your time worrying about somebody else, you're really kind of wasting your own life and becoming exhausted probably, right? So this is what we're trying to do is get away from worrying and move into optimism. So, one of the things about worrying that people always say, well, I'm trying to prepare myself for the worst. That has some merit, like I said last episode, but just keep this in mind, that if you look back on your difficult times, you'll notice that you made it through and you learned lessons. And so if you can just talk yourself out of worrying and just say, hey, if something happens, I'm going to deal with it. And not only that, I'm going to probably learn a good life lesson from it. And with that way, you can move forward positively in your life and feel happier and healthier for it. So I hope that that's convinced you to move from worrying to optimism. And I hope you'll join us next time for another series.